Hey everybody, Dr. Samir Joshi here, of course, and joining me today is yet another very special guest in this awesome lineup of guys and gals, dudes and dudettes, like I always say. And for various reasons, this is a special person, right? First of all, he's a top vendor in JV Zoo. You have probably either heard of him or used a product that he has released at some point of time. I'm pretty sure about that. If not, it won't be too long until you get exposed to his work. So top vendor in JV Zoo, seven-figure marketer, and has been at the game for a long time, but in a very unique way. And he's going to share these insights with us today. And I'm very, very glad to share with you in this video the story of Ankur Shukla. Hey, Ankur, how's it going?
Hey, Samir, thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Great stuff. It's my absolute pleasure. Ankur, so talk to us. Whereabouts are you at today? How's the weather like? How are you doing? Just talk to us, to get started.
Yeah, so I'm right now in Bangalore, in India, and doing this video from my wife's closet. So it's basically a closet / office for her. And so mine isn't set up yet because we just moved into a new place about a week ago. So we're still setting stuff, and my office basically is like a dump for all the boxes that we moved in with. So we're still unpacking all of these. And so it's good. The weather is great. It's rainy here in Bangalore this time of the year. And yeah, I'm here for a couple of months before I start traveling here.
Wow, awesome. Man, why didn't you tell me about this office and box deal before? Because I mean, that would have been a really unique location, you sitting on one of the boxes and all the boxes behind you. I would have loved that video, but maybe another time. You're also sporting a different look today. It's amazing. So in all these boxes, you did ultimately find your shaving kit.
Yes, I did.
Great stuff. Okay, Ankur, let's get down to it. And without further ado, I obviously know your story. I've been following it. We know each other well and stuff. But obviously, people want to hear your story from you.
Sure.
All the amazing things that you've been doing. And I know that, like many of us, including myself, you started off in a company type of corporate background, and you've moved then in progress to IM, and then generating the kinds of success that you are. So talk to us about that, please, from those beginnings all the way up to IM, if you would.
Right. Yeah, so basically I started off, when I was in my college doing engineering, I started building a site called coolcampus.com, which was a college portal for engineering students. Because at that time we had no central resource for people who could actually go and find notes and other things, as well as openings for jobs, etc. It's quite a pain at the time. So I started by creating a site for that, and then by the end of my engineering, the site became really, really popular. And I had a really exciting job offer as well when I completed my engineering, but I decided not to go for that and decided to continue building my site. And we scaled that up into a network of sites. And at one point, I had over 120 sites that were going in that business. And basically, about 3 to 4 years later, we sold that business for a good chunk of money. And then we basically worked with another company, which was a startup at the time. And I worked with them for over 2.5 years. So this was a company which actually acquired our company. And then after that, I basically moved to Bangalore because I really love the climate here and great weather. So I moved here, bought a house and everything. And then I've been here and started with IM after that. So initially, that was basically starting from scratch. And I started since I had a background in websites and software, etc., I started by helping other marketers create their software, basically helping them with teams, etc. And then that's how I got to know a lot of those people. And then after a while, I figured that what these guys do and what these internet marketers do is not, it could not be that hard. So I tried my hand at that as well, and that's what was my first launch. And I moved on from there, just kept on rinsing and repeating the whole process again, and meeting more people, building it up. And from there, it's been like about 3.5, 4 years now, and it's going pretty well. And so that's my story in short.
Amazing. Awesome, amazing stuff. Now, what I'd very, very keenly be interested in is obviously you've always had an entrepreneurial mindset. There's no doubt about that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have started your multiple sites business that grew to 120 sites and all that kind of stuff. You also face struggles during this time. So talk to us about your entrepreneurial spirit that one absolutely needs to have. If you didn't know if you had it or not, how did you uncover it? And especially the struggles that you faced, how did you how did you address these? How did you overcome these? Because you thereafter not only um, uh, succeeded, but you've made a huge amount of success out of overcoming that. So talk to us about the entrepreneurial mindset, if you would, please.
Right, right. So, like when I started with internet marketing, it was not easy initially because I did not know a lot of people. So basically building up your network of people that you know is really, really important. And along with that, you also need to build a good relationship with those people, because then that's why they promote your, if those are, affiliates or bloggers and they want to write about you. So you need to have a good relationship with them. That's one of the important things that I needed to do. And, there were very few people, in the space who were from India. And it was a bit of a barrier. It was a bit of a difference in the culture we have as well. So, there is, and also, the time zone. So I would actually have to work all night to actually be in sync with, all the people I wanted to talk to, because most of those people were based in the US or, other parts of the world. So it was a lot of struggle at the time, being almost for a year, I actually worked, only at nights. So almost like during the first year or two, actually, I worked only at nights, and, then I would sleep till like 2 in the afternoon, and then basically start working again after that. So it was quite a bit of struggle there. Also, when you come up with ideas, like I've seen this happen a lot. So when you do come up with ideas, there could be multiple people having the same idea, and that happens all the time. And it's not, it's just bad luck, or it's just, you just have to keep executing, and you just have to keep, basically do executions in parallel. So let's say if you have an idea and you're executing on it and you're trying to build up a software, you can also work on another idea in parallel. So if something goes wrong with this project, you can always go and fall back on the other one. Like we've built a lot of social automation tools, and oftentimes like a week before the launch, we would have that, Facebook has changed their API and we have to rework the whole thing again. And that would be a bit of a problem as well. Also, like when you do bigger launches and when you do a lot of transactions and volume, it would affect your accounts, like your PayPal account or the merchant account. So, one of the biggest launches I had, my account was limited within 8 hours. And then we were doing a lot of volume at the time. So, I had to get on the phone, and then I did not really, I didn't really leave the phone until the problem was actually slow. So I basically was on hold for about an hour and a half on an international call from India. And that cost a lot of money, but then it also saved a lot of money by, having the account reinstated very quickly. But yeah, that was also quite a challenge at the time. But now that, things have moved forward and, I'm doing a good amount of volume with those accounts, it keeps going well, but it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the process. So you just have to be open to solving those problems, and then approaching every problem with a solution mindset, and always try to have a backup to whatever you're trying to do. So whether it is ideas or your accounts or anything like that, and always be rinsing and repeating the process, because I've noticed that people they try once, and if they fail, they just give up that this whole IM thing, it does not work. So you just have to keep trying at it. I've had a bunch of launches that failed. I don't really talk about them much, but they do have they do happen to the best of the people in the world, and that happens a lot. Like if you look at movie stars, like they also have movies that flop, and then they have a huge success, and then they're back on top. So that happens with like everyone. So it's part of the journey, it's part of the process, and you just have to keep your mindset open about it and keep doing your job and keep doing it well.
Never say die and never quit, kind of a thing. It's amazing. You touched upon an interesting point, and nobody has talked about this, but I am going to now dig a bit deeper in there. And then you talked about being from India. And being in the IM space and all that. Obviously, as you know very well, I'm from India as well, although I've lived most of my adult life outside of it. And many people over here might be from India and watching this and might feel very motivated by your story. And I haven't had the possibility of been living outside and all that. So talk to that audience, please, if you would also. But at the same time, anybody else listening, that even if you're not from, let's say, T1 country, you can still make it. I want you to share those insights with me, please. So I'm sure you had that in mind. How do you go about handling it?
Right. So like the first problem we face, like being from India, is that the PayPal account we have here is quite limited. It does not allow us to be a vendor on any of the platforms that are existing right now for our business to work well. So you have to find people in other countries who you can trust. And when you do a launch, all your money basically goes to them. And so you have to have huge amounts of trust with that person. And then you have to basically find a way that there is a good understanding between you guys, and also there is a good agreement that basically makes it a win for him as well as for you. So all that is a big deal, and that's why you will see quite a few people from India are in this space, because there is this huge limitation, but you have to overcome that. You have to find a way around it and still keep on building it. So that's one of the things that I came across when I started initially. And almost the first entire year, I was actually working with a friend of mine in the US who actually helped me up with all this merchant processing and everything. And after that, I went on to have my own setup, which actually helped me to scale things up faster. But yeah, that's one of the things. And then apart from that, there's also the cultural barrier and the time zone that you actually have to overcome. And eventually, and it does help that if you go out to the events and actually meet people in person, because that's one thing that really helps you build trust and also helps you to basically get more stronger bonds with those people, and then you're able to actually call upon favors and also build good relationships.
Wow, amazing stuff. And obviously the topic about PayPal accounts or any such accounts essentially has got to do with the Indian foreign exchange regulation, just for anybody who's listening to this. Foreign exchanges or currencies other than the Indian rupee are strongly regulated by the government and the exchange of these. And that's what creates these limitations. It is not so much of a technological limitation. Many of the things might be even programmed in India that are used outside. Now, what I want to know next is, and I really want to go into the meat of this now with you. And, all of us started off at some point of time, yeah, and you did as well. So step into this time machine and go back to that time only with the knowledge what you have today, yeah, knowledge, success, etc. that you have today, what you've learned over all these years. So knowing what you know today, if you had no money, no list, no website, and even no clue, other than just a desire that you want to make it online, how would you start making money online?
All right, so that's that's a good question, and with that question, it really it's basically about every person who wants to start in this business. They actually have to start at zero, and then how you go from 0 to 100, and then 100 to 1,000, and then 1,000 to maybe 10,000. That's the process. So basically, there is a different way you approach the whole thing. So 0 to 100, you do something else. 100 to 1,000, you do something else, and then basically 1,000 to 10,000, you do something else, and from there above, you do some other things to actually make that happen. So I will tell you how I started when I had absolutely no knowledge about creating software products or launches. Was I went on to Fiverr and I wrote articles. I wrote 200-word articles that paid, so 3 articles would pay $5 at the time. So there was this network called Build My Rank, which basically allowed you to build basically backlinks on a private blog network. But what they wanted was unique content for every article we posted. And their limitation was that every article should be about 200 words, I think. So basically I used to write 3 articles of 200 words each, and that paid me $5. And that was a really cool thing. And then after that, I basically hired more people in India to actually write those articles. And at one point, I had a team of about 20 people who were actually writing these articles for me. And then I was paying them on a contractor basis. And then I had a big network of people doing that. And it was quite good business until Build My Rank actually got closed down. And then we had no business. So that's, again, that happens in this business. So you just have to, keep your head up and then move forward. So that's what I did to actually go from 0 to 100, was basically write my own articles myself. And I would just write these articles for hours. Interesting thing, there were hacks around the whole thing. So you could actually use Google Translate. So, there was I didn't really know about article spinning at the time, but the way I did my own spinning was basically translate and an article I copied from somewhere into a different language, and then again into a different language, and again different language, and then back into English. And that would be a spun format of that article, and that was really cool that I didn't really have to write it manually. So that's what I did initially to scale up. So first I wrote it myself, then I scaled up by using this Google Translate hack, and then I scaled up by basically hiring people, and that basically took me from $100 to $1,000 very, very easily. And from there, I learned about how to basically create software projects for other people. So I was basically like a project manager of sorts, where I would actually have access to other people who could code, and I understand technology quite well, so I could actually help with the architecting of how to design the whole thing, and then what it would look like and how it would work, etc. And then the people would code it, and then there would be a huge profit margin in between to get the whole thing done. So a project anywhere from $2,000 to maybe $10,000 would give you a good profit margin on that. So that's how I went from 1,000 to maybe $10,000 easy.
Okay, great, wonderful. It's a very unique story. But I want to get down a bit deeper into this as well. And maybe you've already answered parts of that question. And if you were actually really starting out today, yeah, somebody listening to this, maybe they don't have a software background like you do. What would the exact steps be for you to get from zero to a $10,000? So the 0 to 10K, what would the exact steps be according to you?
Okay, so if I were to start off again and basically go from 0 to 10,000, I would actually start off by creating, to basically try to find a problem that needs to be solved. And then there would be people who would be happy to pay any money for that problem to be solved, even if it is like a small amount of money. And then I would create a simple software solution that could do that. So I'll give you an example. So one of the plugins I made actually was my first launch. And it was basically, so when I was building my 100 plus sites, the problem we faced was that you had to install the same plugins over and over again. You had to do a lot of the same work over and over again to set up those sites. And I thought, if I have this problem, there could be more people having this problem. So I asked around in about 4 to 5 different internet marketing forums, what is the approach? How do you actually solve this problem? And then people were trying to give me different ideas, but all of them involved a lot more time. So I found a programmer online. I paid him like $200 to code a plugin for me, and that plugin actually did a lot of the automation work for those steps. And then this was the plugin I used when I did my sites. So then basically I created a plugin software out of this, and I launched it on my own, actually with a partner. And then that launch made over $56,000 in sales in the first week. So I would definitely advise going that route instead of actually going to the 5 different things. But basically creating an asset that actually is a problem, is basically a solution to a problem that already exists. And then there are people who are happy to pay for that problem. Doing that forum posting showed me that there are other people who actually want that problem to be solved. And that was proof enough to actually create a solution for that. So I had to beautifully package the whole thing and basically have it like a sales page, a video, and all those things. And I didn't really know how to write copy or do anything like that. So we had a really short sales page with like maybe 500 words of copy that we did ourselves. And then a video that showed, how this whole thing works. And basically people bought it. It could have done a lot better had we known better copywriting or how to make better videos. But then that was really, a good project, and it made $56,000 in a week. That is pretty good.
It's pretty amazing stuff. Now, you touched upon the topic of plugins, and I know that this topic is, this is specific to you, so I'm going to go into this a bit deeper. And I want you to talk a bit more about this in a bit more detail. And this is how I got to know you, by the way, back in the day, through one of your plugin solutions. And then we got talking and stuff. So share with us, please, how you made boatloads of money using a super simple plugin idea. And I know that this is tailor-made for you, this topic, and I chose it for a particular reason. So talk to us about that, please.
Right. So basically, a lot of people think that, WordPress sites are free, and there are like hundreds and thousands of free WordPress plugins available. But since there are so many sites, like almost a third of the internet is run on, on WordPress sites right now. So that's like a lot of sites. And when people have so many, when there are so many sites existing, there are so many problems to be solved. So one of the problems I solved was when you set up a new WordPress site, you have to do a number of tasks to actually to clean up the site, install your favorite plugins and themes, etc., etc. So all those tasks actually take up a lot of time. So if you do only one site, it's a one-time job. But if you're actually building 3 or 4 sites or 5 sites, or if you work with clients, you have to do that, every day. It can be a lot of work. So we basically automate a lot of the internal tasks that are already done in like WordPress itself. But you won't actually have to jump around in the admin area. You just have to select a few, boxes and then hit one button, and it would all be done in in like maybe 10 seconds. So that plugin basically saved people time. It saved them a lot of effort and frustration, and it also made it look pretty cool because anything that actually took them 30 minutes to do was actually happening in less than 10 seconds. And that was, people actually want to pay for, pay to save their time. And if you can do that, then people will basically buy it. It's like, why do you take a cab to go from point A to point B? Why not just walk there? Because you want to save time and you actually save effort. So that's exactly what we're doing with this software here. And basically that plugin went on to, in the first version we actually launched, we did about $56,000, as I told you. The next version we launched did over $100,000 very easily. The next version we launched actually did around $155,000, I think. And then the other version, the fourth version actually did another 100K. And the fifth version did like 97K or something like that. So basically, like every year we launched a new version of that plugin with a lot of improvements and everything. Like in this year, we had huge changes regarding GDPR and all those things. So we added those things. So basically, keeping it updated, keeping it latest, listening to your customers, and then adding those features on, and then making it a lot better than it was before. So basically, that started off with a small $200 project. So you don't need a lot of money. You don't need to be a copywriter. You don't need to be a video expert. You just need to find a problem and then solve it. And then just make sure that there are a number of people who actually want to pay for the problem to solve. And that's why you need to test it a little bit in the forums or any kind of social proof or in Facebook groups or things like that, right? So as long as you do that, you can actually make money without having a lot of investments, without having a lot of risks. And it works every single time. So there have like multiple products I have made that were small ideas that came from like nowhere. And then we just evolved based on feedback from customers and from other partners and affiliates. And then they became like huge products. So yeah, that's what I would recommend people do.
How do you get your ideas? How do you get inspired? How do you meditate in the morning and then an idea pops up in your head, or do you have that in the shower?
The best ideas come in the shower, and then you also need to keep your eyes open. So like there was this software we made, which was a product that actually would put a video on the bottom right of the page if you're on a sales page. So that that is now a default feature in platforms like ClickFunnels. And but we did that about 3 years ago actually. And these features have come into these platforms just like 3 to 4 months ago, or maybe like 6 months ago. We did the same thing about 3 years ago, and that came to me from when I was watching a video on TED Talks. Because as I was watching, this video at an airport, and when I scrolled down the page, I saw that the video actually kept playing in a top bar, and it was just there. And I was like, hey, if you could do the same thing on sales pages, it would actually increase engagement with the sales video. People would not lose the sales connection that they have, and that actually increased sales. And then we tested that internally, and it basically was working very well. So we made a product that actually would allow you to do that on any kind of sales page, and that made over 100K in that launch, which was a pretty cool product. And all that came from a simple idea by watching a TED Talk, and not even from the idea inside the talk, but what happened on that site. So yeah, so ideas are all around. You could actually take that idea from like one place and then put it into a different place, and that would it would be a game changer.
Fantastic. So it's a kind of a floating video, kind of a constellation. And you did this for WordPress, I'm assuming?
No, WordPress and non-WordPress sites both.
Okay, for everything. Okay, great stuff. Wow. And coming from a TED Talk. Amazing. Great stuff. Ankur, I know that you and I can keep going on and on and on. All good things do have to come to an end, as does this amazing conversation. But before we let you go, with we, I mean my audience and also your audience, our audience, any closing pieces of advice for our audience, if you would have?
I would give one advice which has actually helped me a lot, like in this business or like any business. I've seen a lot of people who come in this space and then they go away. A few reasons are that they make a good amount of money and then they get so comfortable that they actually they see that they have enough in the bank to actually live for a few months. They just go away and then they lose all that momentum and the energy that they've built. They lose the relationships that they've built with all the other people. So I would advise people to, once they actually get started, just keep on going, keep being more consistent about whatever that they do. Because when you actually create a product and you just keep improving it or keep changing it and then actually creating more ideas out of it and listening to your customers' feedback, it actually becomes a good source of income. And then you don't actually have to keep finding new methods to actually make money. You can actually just keep building new ideas as they keep flowing, and then it will actually work out very well.
Fantastic. Consistency seems to be the key word there. Amazing stuff. Ankur, thank you so much for having taken the time today to come here and talk and share your insights, starting off right from the beginning to now, the 7-figure empire that you have built. Fantastic stuff.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Samir. And I wish you luck with this whole project. And I hope a lot of people actually learn from this and take action and actually get good results from this.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's going to be awesome. The product is, or these conversations are so great and different to one would normally get to see at other places. So together with Ankur Shukla, this is Dr. Sameer Joshi signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video.